This is the Mohead Jaw Show, showcasing the newest and oldest beer styles,
heady conversations,
behind-the-scenes clips,
and subscriber exclusives.
Do you like craft beer?
We do too.
I'm Million Blair.
And I'm Deacon Brother Trent.
Get ready to
Pour heavy. You know what I know? We're back. What up, girl?
What up?
How you doing?
I'm good. Just chugged a beer so we can drink more beer.
Oh, darn.
I'm doing good.
Darn.
Doing great. How are you?
I'm good besides the chair across the table is empty again.
Yeah.
Wamp, wamp, wamp.
He'll be back soon.
No Ant this time again, unfortunately, y'all, but he will be back soon, I promise. We love you. We miss you.
Send him all the good vibes.
Sending you the poor people vibes.
And these beers are for you.
These beers are for you. This episode is dedicated to Ant Blair himself. Ant Million of Blairs.
Ant Million Blair.
So, number one beer we're going to pop into is from our trip to Fort Wayne again.
From our friends at Summit.
Holy shit. Over at 1501 East Berry Street, Fort Wayne, Indiana. Summit City Brewworks, the home of the 20 Pour Flight.
And Miranda, a great bartender.
And her rights.
And Miranda and her rights.
And all the awesome poor people that we got to meet.
Patrick, Kevin, Kyle.
Not Adam.
Adam, and Ben not Adam, or Adam not Ben.
Yeah.
Adam, Ben, and all those guys.
And the mayor of Fort Wayne, unofficially.
Yes, that was Kyle.
They have, of their own beers, they had like 30?
36.
No, they had like 32, I believe.
32.
And they had like 4 of like just guest beers.
Yeah. They had a lot to choose from.
We tried every single one besides
did.
the Belgian.
Yep, we let the fantastic people at the bar choose.
It was the Fantastic Four.
Yeah. we let them choose what was on our flight, and they did not let us down. And this one that we're about to drink was my favorite of the 20.
Yep.
And I left for a small moment to run back to our Airbnb and grab some stickers and coasters for these newly knighted poor people.
Yep.
And on the swift drive around the corner, I realized what this beer reminded me of.
Yep. Tell them.
And it was a big light bulb moment for me.
Tell them.
So back in the day,
Tell them.
there was this great place called in Indianapolis called New Day.
Oh,
it was a meadery
R.I.P. and cidery.
And when they first opened, it was amazing. I mean,
incredible shit.
It blew us away. But my favorite offering that they had was Breakfast Magpie, which this beer, when I was driving back to the Airbnb, I was like, holy shit, that's what that tastes like. And Breakfast Magpie to me tasted like breakfast.
Tell them what that is though, and how did we discover that?
It was a black coffee.
It was a blackberry
coffee mead.
Or black raspberry or something like that.
It was it was dark red in color. It tasted like coffee. It kind of tasted like barely burnt toast, but it was also fruity.
Oh yeah.
It was roasty.
It tasted like your jam on toast.
Yeah, it was fucking
with
delicious.
Some coffee. Yep.
It was amazing.
It was a mead.
And
like
and it's
10, 11, 12% mead.
Yeah, it was up there. But
tasted like 5%er.
But the thing is, it was very hard to find even when it was available, and now
at first it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now it's,
it can't find
non-existent.
If somebody has a bottle of Breakfast Magpie out there,
I will give you schmeckles for it.
If you're willing to part with that
trade,
or if you're willing to come onto the show with that,
yeah,
give us, seriously, for real,
that would be a great gift.
Get a hold of us and we will work something out. I promise 100%. You, because that is one of my favorite beverages. I remember when me and Ant were hanging out while you were gone, and you basically ran. I could hear you almost run back into Summit City, and you're like, "Yo, is there any more toast and jam left?" And I was like, "Yeah, what the fuck? Why, dude?" And she was like, "Take a sip of it for me." And I'm like, "Okay." And then right when I took a sip, you did a really creepy thing. You got into my ear and you went, Breakfast Magpie. and I've already, we're probably halfway through the flight, so we've been drinking, so I've already fucking not 3 sheets, but I was probably a sheet and a half to the wind.
Yeah.
And the light bulb just clicked. And this beer, it's an amber with coffee and strawberry, by the way. It tastes almost identical.
Which is wild to me because this is a beer and that was a
mead. So and it's two different things and styles, and it's just off the wall. And we bought 2 4-packs, and as I was drinking it over the time, it's just very, very New Day, and this might or might not be possibly branches to a new Mohead Y'all beer, perhaps.
Yeah,
soon.
maybe. Here's the one negative thing I have to say about it.
Do it.
It's delicious all the time. However, on tap, I enjoyed it more than I do out of the can. It is very much more breakfast magpie to me in my palate on tap than it is in the can.
I see that because it's fresh CO2 pumped beer.
Yeah.
This is canned, but
still good. Still breakfast magpie-ish.
I agree.
Not as heavy breakfast magpie-ish as it was at the brewery.
Unfortunately, I mean, when you first pour, it does have good head, y'all. But once it sets down for a minute, there's not a shit ton. I mean, I got a little bit of lacing. I don't know what's going on with your glass, but there's not a whole lot of head.
Tiniest little bubs.
But your favorite of all those beers that we had was this. I think mine was... I had two of them. It was the Dreamsicle Hazy IPA, which usually when people make Dreamsicle beers, I've learned that it's very fake and artificial. Oh, yeah. It didn't taste like that.
No, it didn't. And it wasn't overly
I think they used like orange puree, I think.
It was really good. I'm not a huge like creamsicle person in
You're
general.
You're not a basic bitch. I am. I mean, let's just set the record straight.
So he's really into those types of
flavor profiles.
Yeah. I'm not, but it was very enjoyable for me as well. And I think that's because it wasn't so subtle that you're like, this doesn't taste like that at all, but it also wasn't overpowering. It delivered on description 100%.
And the espresso stout.
Yeah, that shit was really good too. Their barrel-aged beers were fucking delicious too. Like
basically what we're trying to say is, if you go to Fort Wayne, two breweries you have to go to. You have to go. It's Two Toms, Summit City Brewworks, and also go to Junk Ditch if you have time.
Yeah. And get the falafel.
Please go to Summit City. We were so welcome there. Literally, the moment we walked in, there just like everyone was like, they acted like we knew them for years.
Yeah.
And the staff was really awesome. The beers was fantastic.
They've all reached out to us since then, like on Facebook.
Oh yeah,
stuff like
I would
that.
like to go back and try their food because I see the food they make and
like
it looks good.
Bougie ass hot dogs. Yeah, but they look fucking good.
Yeah, like big ass hot dogs.
Yeah.
It had a very punk rock Broad Ripple Brew Pub vibe
100%,
to it.
100%.
If you took Three Floyds and Broad Ripple and they had a baby, it would be Summit City. And
it's in the most unassuming place. It's in like this weird industrial brick building.
It
but
probably was
like
an old factory back in the day.
4 or 5 different businesses in there. But you go in there and it just opens up. It's fucking huge in there.
It's beautiful.
Everyone we talked to was super cool. Yep. All the staff members were dope. I'm sure you guys have seen it on
good
social
music.
media.
They had Miss Congeniality
on
the TV. Sandy B. Shout out. God damn, I love you, girl. Shout out. What do you think Sandra Bullock drinks beer wise?
Oh man.
Probably like saisons and shit because she's real bougie.
Okay, but here's the thing: if she's got people over for din din, like if Jenny Aniston's over, she's got like a farmhouse table beer for sure, like trying to impress the best.
And she's doing foeder age
but
shit. Yeah.
If she's home watching television, she's drinking like lagers, like she's crushing a good lager.
She'd be I think she'd like a good wheat ale type of gal.
No, I think she's more manly than that. I think she drinks dark beers and lagers. That's my final answer.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Sure, that's fine. I'm not a man. I can't tell you to do with your body. So, I mean, what the fuck am I supposed to say? But
I appreciate that.
But yeah,
toast and jam.
And it's okay. And also, I'm gonna say this, then we can move on because
okay.
I'm not trying to suck on Summit City's dick too hard. Sponsorship.
Not too hard.
Sponsorship. I would also like to get a hold of the owners and the brewer, or if it's the same
anybody
people.
There.
Miranda, that would be really cool.
Rights.
Anyways, and her awesome rights. Anyways, I made her do one more thing. I made her do the Tuscan Raider thing with the. She was super cool about it.
She was great.
And
she also works at Junk Ditch.
Yes,
we
she
tried
does.
Yep. Was it Junk Ditch?
Yes. No, not Junk Ditch. Hop River.
Hop River. That's what it was. Yeah,
Also a great brewery.
We tried to catch her the next day, but we didn't make it in time.
Very cool brewery too.
Yeah, she was cool enough that we tried to see her twice.
They are one of the only breweries that I'm aware of, period, through all of our travels, through the years that you've and me been together and went through the thousands of miles of traveling. They're one of the only breweries, handful-wise, that every single beer was on point.
Yeah. There wasn't one
bad beer
that we didn't
They had a banana chocolate stout.
Hold on. Disclaimer. Trent doesn't like bananas.
Fuck bananas. I don't like eating
I don't like banana flavoring. That beer.
But I like banana flavor, but it had actual banana in it.
We're the opposite. I like bananas. You don't. I hate banana flavoring.
I thought I didn't like it because it was it actually just had actual banana forward taste to it. Mm-hmm. But as a beer itself, it was well made and it was good.
Because it was balanced.
Yes.
It wasn't overly banana in your face.
So what I'm trying to say is if you want good quality beer and if you don't want to find a single bad beer on the board that has 30 fucking 2 options.
You can throw a fucking dart at the board and you're not going to be disappointed.
That's what we did.
Yeah, pretty much. So
go Summit City and have some fun.
Tell Adam Not Ben we said hey.
And Miranda and her rights.
It was a great time.
So yeah.
Toast and jam. So outside of this reminding me of Breakfast Magpie, I really like I don't know where it comes from, but I like the roasty taste of this.
Like
and
the burnt toast quality?
The fruit for me is kind of on the back end, but it's there enough to where I'm like, yeah, this is totally strawberry. And again, excuse you, sir. Outside of it reminding me of Breakfast Magpie, it's a really solid beer, just like everything else.
So speaking of RIP breweries, what are some RIP breweries that you really miss that if you had a magic lamp or a magic genie and he was like, give me at least one brewery that you could resurrect that would be the same as it was as you remember, what would it be?
New Day. Like even if we weren't talking about it, New Day.
Yeah, okay.
Because the little tiny spot they had there in Fountain Square, the vibes, the owners were cool until they weren't.
They had that other spot first. And
I know, but
Noblesville, where they made everything.
Yeah, but they didn't have like a tap room. I think it was just production.
They had a tasting room, but it wasn't like a tap room.
You had to schedule. You had to get on the schedule.
And they had to only use bottles. Yeah, go ahead.
So the tap room that they had in Fountain Square, the location was fucking great.
It's where Fountain Square Tattoo is now.
Is it a tattoo shop now? That's a good location.
It's
right there by the fountain.
Who did I'm sorry, the guy who did one of my tattoos, he was on Ink Master from Indianapolis. His name's Dan.
I have no idea, babe. I'm sorry.
Him and his wife was on Ink Master. Anyways,
okay, cool.
That's his shop.
Congrats to them.
It's a tattoo shop and tattoo supply shop in Indiana. It's across street from
artistic.
Kuma's. It's not artistic.
Okay, just kidding.
It's Fountain Square Tattoo.
Anyway, if I had to bring back a brewery, it would be New Day. And while you're answering, I'm going to think of some other ones because off the top of my head, I'm sure there are a lot. But right now my answer is New Day simply because you know how I am going into a spot and it's like, here's a shelf full of board games. And they had flights, and they had little charcuteries, and they had like the brie and the honey and the little snackies that make me feel like a bougie bitch. And I am not that person, but I like going places that make me feel like I'm that person. The prices were good. The carryout was awesome. The service was great. And I mean, it's just when you're in Indianapolis, like, why the fuck not? And if it came back in that location, it would be right around the corner from Hot Boys. And that just sounds like a really good day to me. Hot Boys Chicken and New Day Breakfast Magpie.
Hot Boys needs to have their own brewery. Hot Boys Brewery.
Anyways, what would you bring back?
So it's funny because a lot of the breweries that I consider RIP are still in business today.
Okay, so why do you consider them RIP then?
Because either their quality has completely changed or they have sold out and shit has changed or whatnot.
We have a different definition of sold out than a lot of people do, though.
Yes.
Like, I still sometimes wish I didn't feel like a piece of shit for wanting to drink Founders because Founders...
Or New Belgium.
Yeah. Like, we don't give them our money.
Or Stone.
Because fuck them. Well, Stone, not so much. Lagunitas, not so much. But maybe for you. But for me, like, Ant talks about it all the time, too. Like, fuck Founders. But also, I wish not fuck Founders because there are some really good Founders beers. But I'm not giving you my money. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Not doing it. So, I guess I answered my own question asking, like, what you meant when you said breweries you'd bring back, but that are not really RIP. Like, they're still alive. But
Stone is one of those for me.
Understood. But I guess their level of sellout doesn't...
But their beer quality has completely changed in the last 10 years.
Really?
I haven't drank a Stone beer in years.
I know that,
girl.
but I guess...
The last beer I tried was Okavesa, and that was the only one that I remember in the last year or so that has actually been the same as it was 10 years ago.
Really?
They just changed. That's why I don't drink them anymore.
I guess I haven't been paying that
and
much attention to them.
They're not stoned anymore. Anyways, I think one of, to home-wise, I think, and it's going to kind of sound off the wall, Indiana City. It's just because it's so relevant.
I mean, that's one of the ones that just went out more recently.
That's why it's
but
relevant.
Like, the shit that we know about Indiana City,
right.
I don't think I would give them the time of day, even if they were still here.
Yeah, I think in the beginning when Ales of the Crypt first came out and shit like that.
In a perfect world, if Nicole was still there,
100%,
and Cosmetic could still coexist with that,
yeah.
Then yeah, maybe. But knowing the things that we know, I wouldn't want anything to do with them.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
100%.
Yeah, that location though.
I think I just miss going to that building.
Yeah,
because it was
100%.
Really cool.
I get that. Yeah. That location's really
Sometimes
dope too.
I just miss the buildings of places that we go to.
Well, I mean, we talk about that all the time. Like, going to a brewery isn't just about the beer, isn't just about the service.
Sure.
It's the vibes, it's the atmosphere, the ambiance. Fucking if your bathroom's not clean, like, it's a whole package.
Right.
Like, we very consciously only give our hard-earned money to places that tick all of those boxes for us.
Sure.
And, like, that building and that location, it was really great spot, but we can't talk about a whole lot of that on mic, but if they were still here, we stopped giving them money a long time ago.
Oh, sure.
So
another one that randomly popped in my head was Ray Street, and that was in Pennsylvania. That was actually the first brewery that Dino and Riley ever
that's
been
a place
to
that
outside
had
of Zawanzik's.
the fucking Triscuits and the feta
And the really good Roush beer, and they had
It's in old school.
The Petey Poos or Patty Pies or whatever the fuck them are called, where you take like a tomato or an olive and you stuff it with something, with feta or
Peppadews. Petey Pies. I love it.
We'll be right back.
That I forget about that place. Like, we only went there once, but that experience was
so
really
ingrained
cool.
into my mind though, because I have a sticker on one of our.
But it's cute because Riley and Dino couldn't even drink when we took them there. They weren't old enough yet.
And you know what? We let them experience the brewery experience that they got, and you know what? They enjoyed it, and it was kind of cool.
It was really cool for me because being an older sister and being as close with Riley as I am, for us to be there visiting our parents and both of them coming to us and being like, yo, like,
can we go do some adult adult?
Like,
and we're like, yeah, we can. We'll go to a brewery, and they're just like, fuck yeah.
Because in Pennsylvania, like specifically at that time, you didn't have to be of drinking age to go to a brewery.
Right.
So them coming to us and being like, yo, like, we know we can't drink and get down, but like, can you take us? And it was just really cool. Like, we'd never been there, so to experience it firsthand with someone who'd never really been to a brewery. And then we walked in, and they had all the lockers still there, and they were all decorated, and some of them were open with like little displays. And then you go back in there. That was a really cool experience.
They had like some cornhole spots in the hallways and stuff. Yeah, I'm glad we got to experience that brewery when we did.
If I remember correctly, the beer was really good. I think you had a Roush beer there.
The Roush beer was...
Holy shit, my Rolodex.
The Roush beer, the Roush beer, because every time I see that sticker, I think about that Roush beer every time. And I remember old girl had to go behind like an old chicken wire fence to go pour, and I was like, this place is fucking amazing. Yes, but yeah, I miss. Yeah, so. It's little things like that I really appreciate about craft beer that I really miss, because it's things like that make me reminisce. It makes me appreciate beer today, but also the beers that we used to drink back in the day. You know, like Three Floyds, like Zombie Dust or a Gumball Head was a lot different than it was
100%
back in the day. Because I was thinking about that on the drive home, on my way home from work yesterday, how Gumball Head and Zombie Dust was different, or like just beer was so different back then. You know what I mean? Just in general. If you want to, hey, R.I.P. Louisville Beer Store.
Oh my God, we've never that was pre-Mohead, y'all. First iteration. That was before. That hoodie is falling apart, and I refuse to get rid of it.
I have one. We still have the glassware. We have one glass home.
Because that was like the first. We'd heard about places like that, but we'd never been to one where it's
that
like a little bottle shop with a tasting room and a beer garden.
Our lives.
It really did. It opened up a whole new world, and that's the first place that we found Brunch Weasel when we were looking for.
No, no. It's Shake. That was one of the shakes.
One of the McKellar beers that I was fucking looking for.
Brunch Weasel we found at Party Pack back in the day.
Okay,
Old school Party Pack.
I think it was breakfast. One of the beers with weasel poop.
It had breakfast breakfast was a breakfast stout, and then they had different iterations of it, right? Because they had a different color label, but it'd be the same.
Yep.
It's different from Brunch Weasel.
Okay, well, one of the McKellar beers that I was
the
looking
pink one.
for.
It was Shake. It was Shake.
It was Shake. Okay.
It was Shake.
One of the McKellar beers that we had been looking for that was like my fucking like white whale for the fucking longest time, and we found it at Louisville Beer Store, and while
we're sipping on a nice Berliner Weiss.
I miss that. Like that's a part of craft beer that I miss that we don't really. I don't know if
talk about really.
I don't know if if it's like a fortunate thing for us that we don't really have to search for beers anymore necessarily, or if there's just not anything that tickles our fancy enough to want to go out and search for. But back then, like, we were still literally ingrained in the industry. Like, you were brewing, I was running a bar. Right. And so for me, I miss that, like having those whales to look for. But it's also like the experience of going there and thinking like today's going to be the day I find, and then finding it. But there were times where we would find a whale and we would be so disappointed in it.
That's part of it. But how many times have you found a whale and we were like tickled pink? Seriously.
Oh, yeah. No, 100%.
And also, before it leaves my mind, because it just... so our whales were almost different than a lot of people's other
100%.
whales. We were searching for certain things that most people could find in their area, but didn't really think about
we were
it.
In the fucking central Indiana.
But then we would find it, and we are whales, right?
Yes.
And so I miss that. But to kind of go back to what you were just saying, I think it's just because I'm not saying that like we're badasses and shit in the beer industry and in beer in general, but we are veterans of.
Yeah, now we know how to get shit.
And we know how to get shit. We know what to look for. We know what we
got contacts.
We got
contacts. Hoes in different area codes.
We're just more smarter. We're just better. It has taken us years in the dedication and spending the money and doing everything that we've done and traveling to really understand.
We've grown up.
Well, we've just done our time. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's a great way to look at it. Thanks for the perspective.
We've just done our time.
But like, I guess what I meant to say was I miss that feeling of finding, like now it's readily available.
The search of the hunt.
Yeah.
And there are still times today that we still feel that.
Yeah.
100%.
Like the lemon meringue pie thing. Like now it's like, oh, I'm finally going to buy this beer that I've been thinking about buying.
Right.
Like 6
and it sucks because to a certain point, and I think it was to the point where I almost gave up on craft beer, was when...
There have been a few of those.
Was when... There was beers that I was searching.
I'm open the next beer.
Do it real quick. Nice. So there were beers that I would search for that I took forever for me to find. It would take forever to get here years later, and I just wouldn't give a fuck anymore when it get on the shelf.
Find it. Yeah.
I just get.
Like, I remember wanting that.
And I was just like, I don't give a fuck anymore because, you know what I mean. So.
But now we're very fortunate that we can go to places like Jungle Gyms. We've got friends in other
Total
states.
Wine,
We've got connections at different breweries.
Right.
So. That's a good way to look at it, and I really do appreciate you putting it into perspective for me in that way. I like I said, I guess what I actually miss is the not having it so like readily available, and I guess in a weird appreciative way, I don't miss it because I'm happy that we are where we're at.
Save some gas money.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah,
but it takes the time, like I said, takes the time that we had to serve, quote unquote. To get to the point we are today.
We earned our stars.
we did earn our stripes, and it's not technically tooting our own horns, but it is though. But we've like I'm trying to say is we do our due diligence when it comes to, and even today, like we still go out and find whales.
Oh yeah, we do.
But it's a little bit easier.
And sometimes we don't even know they're whales until we find them.
And we drink them, we didn't realize it, and we're just like, oh.
And I think that is one of my favorite things about discovering new breweries that maybe we haven't heard of, because I've talked about it on the show before. Like as an artist, can labels draw me in ASMR. Nothing.
No, that was awesome until I brought it
Sorry.
over.
But as an artist, can labels are the first thing that draws me in. So if I find a can label, like I'm not looking at the brewery, I'm looking at the art on the can. If that draws me in, I'm like, oh, what brewery is this? And I'm not going to lie, probably 7 out of 10 times it's a brewery that I'm don't trust enough to spend my money on it. But, you know, if I'll like get out my good friend Google in the middle of Total Wine and I'll look into it and find out where they're from and, you know, peep some stuff and do my research. And then maybe the next time I go, like, we'll try them. But I definitely, that's the way my brain works. Like, I know for you, you're more in tune with like things are coming out. You follow your forums, you do your research. Like, I'm very visual first. So if a can label catches my eye, that's going to make me look into the brewery.
I mean, I think that's anybody. That's just the human nature. You see.
Look, I'm trying to make myself feel special.
Sorry.
Okay.
Well, speaking of being special, what did you just pour on it? You poured a new beer.
Fat Orange Cat.
So we tend to just really like Fat Orange Cat on this show, which they make.
This is one we haven't had before.
Right, and they're a gypsy brewery, they can't say that. I'm sorry. Oh no. Beep. Anyways, Fat Orange Cat.
Vagabond Brewers.
This is a collaboration.
What did Brandon tell us to call them? Backpacker Brewers?
Vagabond
Brewers?
whatever. This is Fat Orange Cat, and it's a collaboration with Decadent. I haven't heard anything from Decadent in a long time, so that's another RIP brewery. I don't even know if they're even still around.
This was a single can.
Bought this as a single can, then we ended up finding the 4-pack at Total Wine yesterday, which if this is any good, we might go back and get some. But this is Fat Orange Cat and Decadent, and this is an Imperial Stout with chili peppers, chocolate, cinnamon, vanilla, and maple syrup, rocking at 13% alcohol.
13? Shit.
On the front of it, it's a old school bakery with a bunch of cats everywhere laying on the bread. One's laying above the bread. One's laying in a bowl of like mixture for like donuts or something. We got kitties laying. There's a cat on the oven. It's got an old brick oven. Aww. There's like kitty looking out the window. I just love Fat Orange Cat. Anyway, so like I said,
can you read that description for me one more time?
One more time. Here we go. Imperial Stout, chili peppers, chocolate, cinnamon, vanilla, and maple syrup.
So like Mexican hot chocolate.
I didn't think about that, but yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, 100%. I did not think about that.
Can I see the can?
Yes.
Get you a taste.
I think it's my favorite Fat Orange Cat label so far that I've seen that we've had on the show, besides Meowtons. I think this is our fourth. This might be our fourth Fat Orange Cat beer.
Or fifth, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna get a sip. When we first poured it, it was Mohead Y'all official, but with 13%. The bigger ABV beers tend not to have the biggest head because of the alcohol percentage. You know what I mean? So I'm going to get a little sippy sip, and I'll tell you what I think. Smells really good. Chili pepper and cinnamon and chocolate is heavy on the nose, and a little bit of vanilla in the background. Not any maple syrup, though, on the nose. So did you get a sip yet?
Yeah, okay. I didn't get any maple syrup. The first thing that I got was that little tinge of chilies, which I'm happy about. Like it's kind of residual, stays in the palate a little bit. The cinnamon is heavy, and that might just be because I'm sensitive to cinnamon. Right. But
first impressions, first sip, one bite. Everyone knows the rules. Mm-hmm. You know the pizza dude.
Yes.
Dave Portland. Yeah. Chilies like chipotle chili. Chipotle chilies all the way. Then it's cinnamon. Then it's vanilla. Then that's chocolate and roast, like stouty roast.
See, I get the vanilla at the end. I get the roast first, then the chocolate, then the vanilla.
This is why I love beer. It's very subjective.
Subjective.
But the first initial wham bam thank you ma'am is chilies and cinnamon right off the 100%. Bat, and does not taste 13%.
No, and that's dangerous.
The mouthfeel is slick, and I'm wondering if they put oats in the grain bill because oats give a good slick mouthfeel. So if you ever drank an Imperial Stout with oats, like an oatmeal stout, it's very slick, almost like I literally say it's slick. Like
I think that's a good way to
like silk.
Yeah,
it's very silky.
That's accurate.
Very silky. Yep. Real slick, oily.
I was expecting it to be a little thicker, like more.
You would think with a
13%,
13% alcohol, you would think bigger body because more alcohol, more body in a beer. You would think it'd be more cloyingly sweet.
I think if Ant was here, he would because he loves that word cloying.
Oh yeah.
I think he would agree with me that I expected it to be more cloying.
It's not sweet. It's really not that sweet.
It's not. It's very dark chocolate, which I'm a huge fan of.
Like Baker's chocolate.
Yeah.
Bittersweet chocolate.
Which goes with the whole. It's called Baker's Dozen. But I'm not. I'm still not getting any maple. maybe on the breath out.
I
but
do. It's a an like herbal essence of maple.
Those fucking commercials.
Remember those? Yeah, it was like herbal essence.
Oh man. Yeah, I'm not. But again, like we just said, that's very subjective. I'm not getting any maple, so
it's drinkable. I mean, for what it is drinkable.
100%.
I think this would be a great beer to put the hot poker in, the Stachel to beer dab.
Yeah.
I think that should.
I think Toast and Jam would have been good with a beer
100%.
Damn, I guess we got to go back to Summit and get some more Toast and Jam
24 flight.
so that we can fucking Big Daddy beer dab it. Hi,
Shout
LB.
out to Big Daddy Beer Reviews on TikTok. Homeboy, you the man.
And also shout out to our patrons, Chad, Jason, and LB.
That's right.
Big Daddy
you
Dabby
all
of St.
appreciate
Louis.
it for your patronage.
All right, we got shit to do. We got to go. If you can find some Fat
Yep.
Orange Cat, I honestly highly suggest grabbing this Baker's Dozen maple. Again, I'm not getting a whole lot of maple, but I think it's worth it to try it because
if you find any Fat Orange Cat or if you find Decadent, highly recommend it. Go get it. Mo head, y'all.
And go to Fort Wayne and go to Summit.
Dude, go
Tell
to Fort
Miranda
Wayne.
and her rights that we sent you. We hope you get to meet all of the friends that we met there. And you know what? Just bite the bullet and try the 20-pour flight. You can do it.
Because, in my opinion, Fort Wayne might be Indiana's craft beer destination right now, besides Indianapolis.
If we didn't already think that, we fucking learned it.
We did.
Like,
we
straight up.
learned something.
Like,
yep.
if you've got a weekend where you can leave early Friday, come home early Sunday.
Highly recommend it.
And if you want information on the Airbnb that we stayed at, it was fucking perfect
so cool.
for our needs. It was a 2-bedroom, Jack and Jill bathroom, fully stocked kitchen. It was super retro, very like cool decor. Location was primo.
Yeah.
Like, we're happy to share all of the shit from our adventures if you guys are trying to take one. And if you are trying to take an adventure, let us know. And maybe we can meet you somewhere. Maybe we can tag along. And we
I would
can
like
make
to
a
do some
trip.
meetups with some poor people. That would be
dope.
really fun.
If you would be interested in something like that,
Let's make it
please
happen,
let us
motherfuckers.
know.
Seriously.
Aunt, we miss you. We'll see you soon.
Love you,
And
dude.
We love you all. Thank you all for listening. And we will catch you next week.
On the
and
flipper.
We'll see you on the palate cleanser. Everybody have a great day and love each other. Bye.
Peace out.
Drink good beer.
Thanks for hanging out, y'all.
Yo, don't forget to check us out on
Facebook,
Instagram,
YouTube,
TikTok, and Patreon.
Remember to enjoy responsibly.
Take care of each other.
And always, pour heavy.